Chris Guns here with the great trainer, John David Jackson. And big news regarding you went through the sport when you were over in England with Sergey Kovalev, John David. You joined Iron Mike Productions. Big move, isn't it, John? Where were you when you heard about this idea, and when was it?
I'm sorry, I heard the last part of that question.
Where were you when you heard about this idea that you're going to join Iron Mike Promotions, and when was it?
I got a phone call about a month ago. I was in Florida, and the manager of Joan Guzman gave me a call out of the blue and asked what I did. She said, and joining Mike Tyson Productions. And, I said, well, let me think about it. Tell me what it entails and what you're offering. And he went over it, and I told him I wanted to meet with whoever the head man was, and that was a guy named Gary Jonas. He was the money man. So Gary and I got together, and we went over things, and asked me what if I could be of help to his company. And I said, I believe I could. And that's how the ball pretty much started rolling.
And did you? Gary Jonas is I guess to Iron Mike Promotions what Gary Schaefer is to Golden Boy. He's the money guy there, and he's the promoter with Mike.
Yes.
Did you meet with Mike at all too?
No, it's funny. I've been on Mike since he was 16, so I didn't get a chance to meet with him as of yet, but I will possibly tomorrow because I'm flying to Syracuse tonight, so I'll probably see Mike tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of world-class trainers to boast of. Herman Caicedo, and you are the heads of the team, which include Kenny Ellis and Andy Bell and Claudio Lamoth and Stacy McKinley. I brought Kenny Ellis into my assistant. There's a lot of, I guess, trainers there. And sometimes too many chefs in the kitchen doesn't make for a pretty good soup. So, I'm going to be a team player, but I'm not going to train certain individuals. And a lot of times, some of the fighters I train will come down to my gym because too many chefs in that oven, and that kitchen things don't gel well. I was told all of that. I would be getting complete control on how to do things the way I want to do them. Even having said that, sometimes there's a lot of jealousy and envy in the gym. So we'll see how it works out. If it doesn't, I always have my gym to take some of these fighters to and just teach them one-on-one by myself. Yeah. So you're not looking to change gyms. You're looking to stay in your own place.
Well, what I'm going to do is, early in the morning, I'm going to go to their gym and train some of their guys, and then later in the evening, I'm going to train some more of their guys along with my fighters at my place. I'm always going to keep my place. You never know boxing what happens. So, but my place is, it's home for me and my fighters and a lot of my guys. So, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to go to their gym early and then come back to my gym later on that evening.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of fighters that you'll be able to work with or have the option to work with. You got IBF super featherweight champion Argenis Mendez, two-time champion Joan Guzman, as you mentioned already. So you'll be working with Little Tyson and Big Tyson. Gold medalist from the 2008 Olympics, Felix Diaz, and the silver medalist from the same Olympics, Udell Johnson, among others. What do you think of the group of fighters that you'll be working with? And you should be busy working with these guys. What do you think of them?
Well, the only fighter I really will not be working with that you mentioned earlier was the Mendez kid because, I train Rancis Bartholomew. He's number contender. So he fights the winner of this fight Friday. So, part of my deal was I'm pretty much loyal to my guys. And since I was Rancis first, I'm going to stick with him. And, Gary was, he was fine with that because I was upfront about it. And I said, I'm not going to go against my guy. Even though I'm joining your crew, this is my fighter first, and I want to stick with him out of loyalty. And so, they had to accept that. And other than that kid right there, I have no problems training any other fighter on the team.
Yeah. Now let's get to the new champion, your protege, the Boogeyman, and now the WBO light heavyweight champion. It was a devastating performance on Saturday night. I'm glad to say it went exactly the way as I thought it was going to go. Did anything surprise you at all, John David?
Well, it surprised me, and I thought it was dumb. But
the kid said he was going to stand there and try to trade with Sergey. I think once he got hit the first time, he didn't trade. He just stood there and tried to block the punches. But, going into the fight, Sergey and I had a plan. I told Sergey, if he covers it, hit him in his shoulders, hit him in his arms, just hit him where you can hit him. The way Sergey punches, trust me, it hurts. And I still don't believe that, but yeah, it's cleverly. He's already talking about retiring. That's how devastating Sergey is. Why would you just kick a punch? He made this guy think about seriously retiring from boxing. The fight went as I thought it would. I just figured that cleverly with a lot of fighters, they have the firepower to keep Sergey off. And if you can't get Sergey to respect you in some type of manner, then it's over. Because this kid punches so good that once you feel his punching power, game plan changes. And since Nathan had nothing to answer back as far as firepower was concerned, he was in trouble. Then he gave a surprise because Sergey can box. People don't realize that he's not a power puncher. He's able to set up his punches through smart boxing and be able to maneuver their way into different shots. So once Nathan realizes he's in trouble.
Yeah, and it is going through the sport. Yesterday and today, it started to come out that he is actually thinking about, at the age of 26, retiring. So it was a humbling and life-changing experience for Nathan, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he bit up more than they could chew. And I listened to all the talk. I listened to these guys talk before the fight and at the press conference and just in the interviews. And they had no idea what they were getting into. The father, so they had like about 9 different plans. After he got hit, I knew about 7 plans to go out the window. What did you do? Either go to survival mode or get too brave, feeling good, and try to fight the kid. Neither one was, survival mode would have been better for you because you'd last longer.
Yeah. And after all that talking,
one answer to the people is, you underestimate Sergey's ability to go the distance because he doesn't go longer than 3 rounds. But he trains for 12 rounds.
Mm-hmm. After all the talking that Nathan and his father trainer Vince did, is it sweeter the way it went down? I was on that conference call with you and Vince, and all this talk about the plans B and plans C and D and elemental P plans. A guy who we already talked about a little, Mike Tyson, said everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. I guess that was accurate, wasn't it, John David? And Sergey was cut for the first time in his career in round 2, and he seemed to fight very well under that pressure. What did he say to you when he about the cut in between rounds? Did he seem concerned at all?
No, as he said that, the first thing I said to him was, "Don't worry about the cut. We got that under control. Just go, just stay with the game plan and go and do what you do best." I said, "We got the cut. Don't worry about that." He looked at me and said, "Okay." And he went back out to what he had to do. I just want to reassure him that, you know your cut. Don't worry about it. We got this under control. So, once he seen that and he seen there's no panic in our corner, he was okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's important to show a calm face in the corner.
Yes, definitely.
And he was breathing through his mouth between rounds, and HBO commentators were making a big deal of it. To me, you could be winded but not look exhausted, and that's what it looked like to me. It didn't look like he was exhausted to me. What is his conditioning like? You said he's prepared to go 12 rounds if possible.
Yeah, listen, we train because, like I tell him, you never know when you're going to meet that fighter that can take your punch and go 12 rounds. So, before camp, or during camp, we train for every fight with the expectation of going 12 rounds. Realistically, we know if he hits these guys right, they're not going to go 12. But, we trained for it, and, he wasn't gasping. He's like I said, he was kind of huffing and puffing a little bit. But, listen, a lot of fighters do that.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't worried about it. A lot of times these commentators, I don't know if they want to make it look more better for TV or sound more dramatic for TV. But listen, unless you've been in that ring sometimes, you don't understand what these guys are going through. He was throwing some hard shots. He might bleed a little bit, but he wasn't gassed. He definitely had enough. That was round 3, 2, right? He was doing his gassing. He had enough in his tank to go 10 more rounds. He had to slow down. He never slowed down. He moved his gassing.
That's true. That's what I saw too. If there was any concern, he kept it well masked because round 3 could have and should have been the end of it, in my opinion. Take us through the first knockdown. A left hook seemed to dizzy Nathan cleverly up a little bit, and a left hook dropped him. He was never down before that. Sergey he's got a way of making things happen with his power that never happened to guys before. Take us through that first knockdown, John David.
Yeah, first round, he was, at that point, Sergey was going to the body real nice. He started throwing body shots, and you could see if you looked at Nathan's body, not only was his face red, becoming red, the body was getting well-timed, reddening from the punches to the arms and the shoulders and the body. So, the body shots enabled Nathan or enabled Sergey to get in close, but Nathan started dropping those hands a little bit lower because of the body shot. So the first knockdown was a nice, like you said, it shook him real nice, and after that, he was hurt, so Sergey kind of slid after the kill a little bit and dropped him with a straight right hand to the upper top of his head.
Mm-hmm. Did you know that was the beginning of the end, that first knockdown?
Yeah, one thing about Sergey, he's a tremendous finisher. Once you're hurt and he smells the blood, it's highly unlikely, unless the bell saves you, that you're going to get out of that round. And once he hurt him before the knockdown, once he staggered him, I said, we got it. Because now the body, told the story and let you know that, okay, I've been hurt. And once Sergey seen that and smelled the blood, it was over.
Yeah, that second knockdown was more because he was still hurt and he was already beaten down looking. After even the first round, I noticed a change in the face of Nathan Cleverly. He just looked like a beaten guy. But the second knockdown, it kind of reminded me of when he went down. As he was walking away, Sergey caught him with another right hand, like a right hook. It kind of reminded me of the way Marciano caught Joe Walcott, and I think that finished him off totally.
Yeah, he was done at that point. And it's funny because before the fight, I always said one or two things. I said the father is probably going to be too brave for his son's own good because, like you said, they should have stopped the fight before the fourth round started. But I knew the way the father was talking, that during the fight he would be too brave for his son's own good. I knew that if anything, if the kid got hurt, the father would let the fight continue until the kid either got knocked out cold or the referee decided to, step in and stop the fight, which, did happen because the father, instead of seeing with his eyes to care, the pride come in. He wanted to prove his son could still do it. So he sent his son back out there and said, well, you know what? No, this is enough for us today. Let's stop while we're still ahead. It's just fortunate for the referee to stop because, to see Sergey knock him out cold would have been a terrible thing. And I kind of, at the third round, I was screaming to the corner, you better stop the fight before your son gets hurt. But, they probably don't want to hear that. They probably, pride takes over sometimes and gets these fighters hurt, or the pride of the corner gets these fighters hurt because they're too proud to just admit defeat. And, you get hurt like that sometimes. And I figured that's what was going to happen in this particular fight.
Yeah, I thought it should have been stopped by the ref as the bell sounded. There's been many knockouts at the 3-minute mark, and this should have been one of them. Did you think there was any attempt by the ref for any hometown cooking? I mean, you're supposed to, if you're a fighter, you're supposed to show that you could walk to your corner under your own power and under your own will. But the ref carried him to the corner. Did you feel like he was trying to give him as much of a chance as possible?
Well, listen, sometimes being a champion and the rule of boxing is, when you're a champion, so be given the benefit of the doubt and given that last chance to prove that, you can still come back and win the fight. So, not stopping the fight, I mean, do we all think it was kind of a stupid mistake to not stop it? Yes. But I understood that, okay, this kid's champion, he did his hometown, his countrymen see it. They're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and the referee proved us right that you should have stopped it in the third by letting it go on because he didn't, in the fourth round, he didn't survive that round. But, I wasn't surprised when they didn't stop because you're going to give the kid, the benefit of the doubt and he's giving him that last chance to prove himself or try to survive and come back and win the fight if he could. So I wasn't too surprised at the fact that the fight did go on. I wasn't happy with it for the kid's sake, but I wasn't surprised when it did happen.
Yeah, he did get allowed to go back out from the ref and his father, trainer Vince. Sergey came right out for the kill and swarmed Nathan. What does Sergey say between rounds 3 and 4? Does he tell you what he wants to do, or do you just send him out there knowing he knows what to do already? What's it like between?
He just listen. I got to myself, listen. Don't get excited. You got this fight. I just tell him, listen. Don't get excited. Everything's going according to plan. So and he just said okay. He said, I got this, coach. And that's he doesn't get excited. He knows. It's funny. He's very cool under pressure. He's the coldest assassin. He goes in there and doesn't get excited. But he knows what he has to do. He knows what the job description is. He goes out there and he completes it.
And he did finish the job in that round. You were caught on camera rooting your man on at the end, and as he was finishing Nathan off. You look like you won the title. Is it as satisfying to see your man win the title as it was for you winning your title? Because there's not too many guys who could say they did both. Is it comparable at all?
Yeah, to a degree, because all the hard work that a lot of the fans don't see before the fight, the preparation, the planning, the days of going over the plan, trying to devise maybe 1 or 2 fight plans. If there's 3, then that's as far as it goes. But all the days of just the sweat and just going through different things. The days of running, getting up with the kids. You run, you do all of the physical training. So it's gratifying to see all the things that you worked on, and to have a fighter that listens to you and does what you ask him to do. And you see the outcome of it, the way you thought it would go, and it ends that way, sometimes better than you thought it would end. It's a wonderful feeling. Especially, and I always tell my fighters, I want you to feel what I felt when I was champion. I want you to feel what it feels like to be champion. It's a wonderful feeling, man. And every fighter should have that chance, if not to win it, to try and get to that point, to try and win it. And once you win it, it's a beautiful thing, because now you're no longer the hunter. You're the hunted. Everybody wants you, or should want you. Mm-hmm. Because now they want what you got. And I got to Sergey, now the shoes under the foot, you got to train harder now, because now you got to keep what you work so hard for. Because now everybody wants you. Not everybody, because some cats will say, I don't want to fight that guy. I'll fight some other champion. Mm-hmm. But there's still people out there that want you, because you got what you have what they want, or what they need, or what they desire. That belt, because that's where your money comes in.
Yeah, and I'll guarantee you something, John David. I don't think anyone's going to want the WBO light heavyweight title right now. I really don't.
Yeah, no, listen, it's funny, because I told him the same thing. I said, Sergey, I wasn't devastated as a puncher as you were, but I was definitely a boxer. I was a more slick boxer. I said, I had the same problem. I said, I couldn't get guys to fight for my title. I said, luckily for him, the WBO title is now more acceptable than it was when I was champion. Mm-hmm. I said, so if HBO loves you, so you get TV to back, you get the fights that you want, or you get most of them. Some guys still won't fight. They're talking a lot of guys gonna talk a lot of trash out there, but they never fight it. They're talking a good game, but they won't fight it. I said, but luckily you got TV behind you, and HBO loves you, so you would get most of the fights you want. You may not get all of them, but you get most of them. I said, I didn't get half of them. I didn't get 1/10 of the fights that I wanted, because I wasn't a TV friendly fighter. I was a boxer, and I did my thing. I said, so you have a better chance to make the money that you deserve to make.
Mm-hmm. And after all the talking that he did before the fight, Nathan seemed real classy in defeat. He walked over and he shook hands with all you guys, and he showed a lot of respect towards Sergey after the fight. What did he say to the team Kovalev and after that humbling rubbing that he took?
He can't only to Sergey, but he came to me and said, John, he said your fight plan was brilliant. He said, I just want to commend you. And he said it was a great plan, because he said it definitely worked. And I told him, I said, man, listen, keep your head up. I said, I thank you for giving this kid the opportunity. I said, if your team was smart, you want to pick him. I said, in the future, plan your fights carefully. Because you're a good boxer, but you don't have a lot of ammunition behind you. So you got to pick the right opponents for yourself. If you ever win this title or any title again, I said, just be smart in what you do with your career. And he said, thank you. He probably forgot all of what I said to him, but he thanked me, and I said, hey, man, just I said, thank you once again, and good luck in the rest of your career. So.
Yeah, he's considering retirement or getting a new trainer if he continues. And what about the father and trainer-son relationship in boxing? It's always been a controversial thing. It does seem to work for some people, like it did Joe Calzaghe and his father Enzo, or the Trinidads. But then there's a lot of times where it doesn't work out so well and actually causes a big problem within the family, like it did with Roy Jones and his dad, and the Mayweathers and the Mosleys. And you actually work with Shane Mosley. Did he ever talk to you about the father trainer, his father Jack?
We talked. He and I talked. Because I had a chance to see it firsthand, and we talked. Right now, I won't go deep into it. One day, you and I talk, I'll listen to everything. But, fathers and sons, they don't really work in boxing for the simple fact, and I got to try to tell people, the bloodline is too strong. The father wants to be the father. He wants to dominate the son, even though the son is a grown man now. He wants him to go his way. And you can't do that. You have to let every man grow and leave the nest and be a man. And these guys, they want to be everything to the son. And the thing that I always tell people is still, they're too brave for their son's own good. See, the father not get hit. He's talking all the trash. All these guys, they talk a lot of trash, but it's the fighter that gets in the ring and takes all the punishment.
Because these guys can say, my son's going to beat you down, do all this and do all that. But from the building, you're going down the steps. Your son got to go face, he's in a line of fire. You know, all the trash you talk, he got to defend you. So, you know, it's not good sometimes because the fathers, they're too brave for the sons, or they're too overshadowed for their son's career because now they're too overprotective, I should say, for their son's own career. You know, and the fighter's the problem with the kid, they want to stop the fighter or they want to avoid every tough opponent they can because they don't want the son to get beat or they know that somebody lacking. And they might not want to get beat, so guess what? Now they're too overprotecting. They want to protect him from all the good fighters and just have him fight stiffs and guys that they know he can beat. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's a hard line to cross when you have a father-son team.
Mm-hmm. No such problem in your camp. No daddies in your camp.
Well, you know, it's funny. I told my father when I turned pro, I told my father, I said, you know, Dad, I love you. I said, but I have to go somewhere else. I have to go get the proper training and teaching. You took as far as you can take me. And then my father, he was hurt by it at first, you know, but he stepped back and he said, you know what, son, you're right. I can't do anything else for you because I never fought as a pro. I don't understand. He says, I need somebody else. And I seen all my friends, Rocky Lockwood, Johnny Bumpers, Pima Thomas, had gone with Georgie Bennett. And I said, that's where I want to go. You know, he's the man that I felt could teach me what I need to know as far as professional fighting. And, you know, so my father, he understood that. It hurt him in the beginning, but then he said, you know what, you're right. Go do what you need to do to become a better pro.
Yeah. What was the after party like? I had the honor of being at the Campillo after party, and the food was great, and there were some beautiful ladies too. As a single guy, I was happy anyway. What was it like over there in Wales? How'd they treat you over there?
It was nice because, you know, the gym we trained at, you know, it's funny, when we first got there, no gym really wanted us no gym wanted our camp to come and train the facility because nobody wanted to be the bad person with Nathan's people. They didn't want to say, oh, well, you guys haven't trained here. Well, one gym, I can't recall the name of the people, but they were so nice. They said, come on over, mate. He's training our gym. They opened up the facilities to us every day. As a matter of fact, they gave us a ride home every night. They were really nice. And you know, it was great. The atmosphere was great. They gave us a gym. It was private. We did our thing every day. So after the fight, you know, and the people were nice. I mean, the same people that ran the gym, one of the guys ran this pub. And after he set it all up for us, we had a nice after party. We were in this private pub. And just, you know, all people. And it was great because we were allowed to celebrate after the victory. So it was real nice. You know, I don't drink. So I just had my little juice and let everybody get tore up. And just had a nice little time.
Yeah, and you were a great defensive fighter, and you learned from a great defensive trainer like Georgie Benton. What do you bring to Sergey as a defensive-minded guy, and Sergey being an offensive-minded guy? Does it mesh well?
Yeah, it does, because, you know, any fighter that I get, I don't try to show them how to do everything defensively. Every fighter's not going to get that. So whatever I see that is, whatever is needed, that's what I get them. I don't try to be overbearing with them. I'm trying to more than you know. With Sergey, he's a great puncher. Sometimes when I first met him, he might just leave his head there to the shot and more admire his handiwork. I said, no, listen, I get him in the habit of not moving his head. Once he's done punching that last shot, move your head regardless. I said, like I said, some cat might take your best shot one day and be able to fire right back on you. Mm-hmm. So for him, I just get him don't stay in the pocket so long. After you fire your shot, move your head, move your shoulders, move some part of your body so you can get that line of fire. And he understood that because what I did was I had him spar one kid, and this kid was cruiserweight, and he put some on Sergey. He was able to do that with his weight and his height. He was a match Sergey, and as a sponsor, Sergey understood what I meant at that point. And he said, "John, now I see." Yes, everybody's gonna fall when you hit him. So you have to be able to retaliate and not only retaliate, but move that head and put yourself in a different position. So if you get hit, you're not there to stay for the receipt. But then your position still fire back if you need to. And so he understood that. So we work on small things, you know, on the feints, on getting in close, paying these guys, put them in position so you can hit them with the shots you want to hit them with. And he understood that. So with him, I don't make him do it. I show him a few times. And what I do is I let him absorb it, and he does it on his own after that. So I don't have to sit there all day, 2, 3, 4 weeks, and do this. When camp first starts, it's always just he and I for the first 2 or 3 weeks. And I just show him a small thing, and he works on it for that particular fight, and leave it alone. And then from that point, I let him do it his way, and he develops it into his own style that works for him, and it works out great for both of us. And he makes me look like a genius, because he does what
what I tell him to do, without demanding it from him to do it.
Yeah. So he's fainting. He's moving his heads. I noticed that he's taking like little half steps and side steps and stuff like that. So he didn't come here from Europe, because in Europe they do learn, I guess, fundamentals way better, and they follow the fundamentals of all the sports they play better than Americans do. We're more unorthodox and use little things that other people don't do in other countries. So when he came here, he was not what we see on TV now. You actually worked with him and changed some things.
Yeah, just small, very small things. You know, I added more things, more of a body movement for him. I mean, 'cause he has the instinct, and I tell him, I said, the thing is, Sergey, you have natural instinct ability to make these shots, to make these shots, you know, miss you by just a small half an inch, you know, centimeter, how you want to, you know, calculate it. I said, but you have to start doing that for me. You can't sit there and fire your shot and admire what you're doing. I said, because, you know, somebody's going to punch back eventually. And so, you know, once you get hit a few times, you understand what I was saying. And now he realizes, after he hits you, he can't stand right in the pocket and look at you. He has to move his head a little bit. You know, if I said, by moving your head and moving your feet just a little bit, now you put yourself in a different position if it's catch with another shot, but not be in the same place you were when you hit him in the last shot. So he understands that, you know, and he has the natural reflexes and instincts for that. So why not add this to your game to make you a better fighter than you are already? I mean, the power is there. I can't teach you that. You have that naturally. That's all yours. And, you know, I just work on the foot movement a little bit to place his punches better. And he does that so well that, you know, I don't take credit for that, because I showed him a little bit. But he had most of that when he got here.
And HBO guys talked a little bit about it, and it is funny, and it's kind of funny because you don't really see too many American athletes who are humble like that. A lot of people try to call themselves great before they even proved it, but HBO told a story about how Sergey came into the gym and he told how they put it, that he asked Don Turner to see and let him know if he punches hard enough to compete in the pros. How'd that go, and what did you hear about that story?
Well, you know, what I heard was that he came to America and he met with Don, and he said, Don, I want you to make me a better puncher. And, you know, Don being a smart man, Don said, in a few days, Don said, Don, you punch naturally hard on your own, you know? And that's what I tell people. This kid here, he's just a natural born puncher. When you look at him, you say, this guy's not much. I'll beat his brains out. He's deceptively strong. He looks easy to hit and easy to walk over. And once that bell rings, you know, this kid here, man, he just naturally is strong. And some of it is the way he was born, his upbringing, his lifestyle he led. Because he was a very poor kid. So, you know, just being growing up in a hard life that he tried to grow up in, just made him hard like that. And the punching power that he has is so just unreal. I'm on the midst of body for me. It's just unreal. You know, so even this guy can punch. He was a great puncher.
And he came to the States after his fight with Roman Simikov. Lots of times we see guys who had the misfortune of an opponent dying in the ring, unable to fight to the highest level anymore. The list is long of guys who had the misfortune of an opponent dying, and they just can't fight to their best abilities anymore. What makes Sergey continue to fight at such a devastating level? And did he ever talk to you about how he feels about that fight in retrospect?
Well, we talked briefly. I didn't want to go deep into it, but, you know, here's what I told him. I said, Sergey, you know, in life things happen. I said, everything's planned. There's a purpose and a reason for everything. I said, we don't know what that is. It's only the man above knows that. I said, so for whatever reason, that was that guy's day to die. I said, I had a guy that interpret to him for me slowly. I said, you can do one or two things with it. I said, now, whatever your goal for in the future is, I said, what is your goal? He said, my goal is to get my mother and my family out of Russia. I said, they're poor there. He said, you know, if you're rich or you're poor in Russia, my family's poor. He said, I've been poor all my life, and I want them to come and see America and enjoy it like I do. And I said, let that be your goal. I said, by this guy dying, don't stop that from being your goal. I said, you have to go up there. And between I told him, I said, man, if someone else dies, that's just what happens. That's life. You can't let that, it's a cold statement to you, but you can't let that stop your goal from what you want to do in life with your family. I said, because if the next person could do it to you, they would. They might feel bad afterwards, but they're going to do the same thing to you that you're trying to do them in the ring. I said, so that's the business that we're in. We're in the hurt business. You got to hurt somebody. You know, you're not trying to kill them, but that's part of the business that we're in, and that's the risk that we take once we get in this ring.
I said, don't let that ever stop your focus on being champion. If you hurt somebody, you hurt. I said, a lot of guys talk trash. I'll kill him in the ring. I said, unfortunately, you've done it. So you've been on that road. So listen, that's not a problem for you. I always humble yourself to know that, ask God for forgiveness. But listen, I said, the next guy in the ring talking trash, what are you going to do to you? I said, you got to do the same thing. You got to hurt him. And, I said, hurt him as bad as you can hurt him to let him know, hey, you meant business. And he looked at me and said, John, he said, you're right. This is the business I'm in, and if I hurt somebody, I'm going to hurt them as bad as I can. He said, listen, no one's going to stand me in the way of being what I want to be. I want to be the best, I want to be champion, and I want to take care of my family. So he said, John, trust me. What happened in the ring happened. I talked to the family. I tried to give them money. He said, but it doesn't matter what you do when I go to someone else in the ring and they get in our way, they get hurt also. So it hasn't deterred him from doing what he wants to do and being what he wants to be. Now he's fulfilled the first dream. He's champion. Now it's time to get the money. I don't think that unfortunate tragedy will prevent him from doing what he wants to do.
Yeah, and I'm glad it didn't. And I talked to you after the Campillo fight a little bit, and I asked you about the language barrier and if you guys were able to click right away. You told me that you didn't click right away. Tell me about your first camp and your first meetings with Sergey.
Well, this is how my first camp was. This is how I met Sergey. One day I got a phone call from his manager, A. He said, John, I'm sending this kid named Sergey down to you. Boom. I said, okay, that was the conversation. No, where they staying? Does he need a place to stay? Can I help you? He's coming. Okay. So he gets here. He has no place to stay yet. He has to find a place. I was going to try to help him, give him my realtor guy and give him a hand. So when he gets here, now he doesn't know me. I don't know him from Adam. We don't know each other. So there's no trust. There's no connection. There's nothing. So he's kind of thrown into my lap. So when I meet him, he meets me. We don't know each other. Never really, I never really heard of him. He never really heard of me. So there's no familiarity with each other. We don't know each other. So the second day, the first day we met, I said, okay, you try to get back tomorrow. I said, no problem. So the very first day we were in the gym, I tried to show him a move. Well, guess what? He tells me, no, I can't do that. Well, that pissed me off because I'm asking to just do this move for a reason. Not because I'm trying to change his style. So when he said that to me, that kind of turned me off a little bit. I backed up also. I said, well, this guy's not too teachable. But that wasn't it. And as the days went by, I realized, like I said, we didn't know each other. I didn't trust him. He didn't trust me. So once we began to know each other, and then we started to come together, then there was a mutual trust and respect for each other. Because it was just that the way they did it, no one, he didn't fly in, like a week before and was introduced to me, and I was introduced to him, and we got to know each other and see if we even, meshed. It was just that he was just thrown on my lap, and there he was. He got to find a place to stay now. He got to, see if he even trusts me. And everybody distrusted. He didn't know me, and I understood where he was coming from. So as the days went by, I kind of understood him and put myself back in a fighter's position. How I would feel if I didn't know anybody here in America. Really, I'm from another country, and as time went on, we just began to really get to understand each other, and I tried to understand him more. And then one day we just clicked. I said something stupid. He started laughing. I guess it broke the ice. He told me a corny joke, and I started laughing. And then we began to, fill each other out more, and then we understood each other. So, now I really understand him. And I told him, try to understand me. I said, I'm a real moody person. I said, not in the sense that I'm a bad guy. I said, I'm real quiet. I might be happy 1 minute, and then 10 minutes later, I'm just mad, but I'm not mad at anybody. It's just my mood. I said, when I'm like that, just leave me alone. 5 more minutes later, I'm gonna be happy, I'm just happy. My dad said, I had a problem. He just got a problem. But so I told him, just understand me, man. When you see me and I'm looking nasty, just leave me alone. About 5 minutes later, I'm gonna go over and talk to you, just be happy as hell. So we understood because he's the same way. He kind of has the same attitude. So we just leave each other alone. Like I said, I show him what I need to show him in the ring. I leave him alone. He gets it, he does it, he protects on his own, and then we're happy. So in the beginning it was really rough because we didn't know each other. We were just thrown together. There was no formal introduction or anything. We had to work around that and get together.
Obviously now you're like two peas in a pod. Before he got this fight with Cleverly, though, he wanted to wait for Bernard Hopkins to fight him. I disagree with Roy Jones. Roy Jones thinks that Bernard has a very good chance with Kovalev right now. I don't think he has much of a chance. What do you think of Kovalev-Hopkins fight at this stage? Definitely a big money fight, but does Hopkins really have a chance with Sergey?
I
It's funny. I was talking to somebody today, and I said, I laughed. I said, Roy must really want to see Bernard get hurt. I said, I think Roy trying to set Bernard up for failure. I think Roy really wants Bernard to get hurt. I said, because, I thought about it. I said, me and Roy, we're great fans. I'm going to invite Roy down to Roy. Do me a favor. I want you to spar with Sergey. About 4 or 6 rounds. I said, I want you to just spar with him. Nothing hard, but I want you to, feel a little bit of it. Because then I want you to sit back and think about the Bernard Hoffman that you fought back in 1993. And then the same Bernard Hoffman that you fought maybe, 15 years or 17 years later that you fought. Now remember the rough, rugged kid you fought back in 93, and then the guy you fought years later on. And you tell me if the same Bernard that you fought back in 2010, I think it was, would beat this kid. I said, and give me compared to the guy you fought back in 93. I said, there's no comparison, because that was a young, strong, crazy Bernard Hoffman. The guy now, he saved you first all the way. Older. He's not going to punch that much, He's not exciting to watch, because he's going to try to fight you. If you're not a very intelligent boxer, Bernard's going to pick you apart. But it's not going to be some pretty fight, because he's going to do it his way. And that's very calculated, very non-risky, and he's going to do what he wants to do. Sergey don't let you do that shit. See, Sergey, from the very first opening does, Sergey's gonna see what you really got in your tank. He's gonna go right to you. Bernard is 48. He fights like a 48-year-old. He can't keep this young man off him. So to answer your question, no, Bernard can't beat him. And I tell people that his fans might get mad, they might get upset about it, but he cannot keep this young kid off him for 12 rounds. Because listen, he may avoid the headshot, but getting hit in the arm, getting hit in the shoulder, getting hit in the chest, getting hit in the kidney, getting hit in the hips, that's going to take its toll on you. Can Bernard withstand that for 12 rounds? I doubt it really could. Because his body's not used to that kind of punishment. And the sparring partners aren't going to do that to you. They're paid not to hurt you. They're paid to work with you, but they're not going to hurt Bernard. So he's not going to be prepared for that kind of punishment in a 12-round fight. Now, people say I might be crazy, but that's the people that don't understand boxing. They just feel out there that they just watch the fights. These so-called trainers that think they know boxing, but never really boxing in their life. But I can't go 12 fight rounds with a kid that punches like this. But like I said, if they want to, make the fight and prove me wrong.
Yeah, I don't see it. And I'm one of Bernard's biggest fans, but I'd be worried if that fight got signed right now. And it's funny because I was thinking the same thing. Maybe Roy wants Bernard to experience that.
Yeah, I laugh. I thought I'm asking Roy when I see him. But that's what I went through my head. I said, well, it's going to Bernard get messed up, man, real bad. Listen, that's not the case. That's not what happened. Trust me. Bernard has had a hard fight in years. And he hasn't really had a hard fight where he knocked somebody out. Longer than that. So I don't see it. Listen, maybe you want to prove me wrong. If I'm wrong, and I'll admit it, but I don't see it happening. I really don't. And
did Roy take you up on that? Did he actually spar Sergey too?
No. When I see him, I'm gonna say, let's come on down and spar this kid. Okay. And you can tell me if you think Bernard can really beat this kid. Because Roy knows better than all of us. He fought Bernard back in '93 when Bernard was still fresh and young, and back then he was still executioner. Executioner long gone. It's just a smart, intelligent fighter now who wins these fights on his craftiness. The killer's gone. He's just a smart old man who knows how to box. Most of the young cats know how to fight. So he takes them to school.
Yeah.
But it's gonna take more than this craftiness to keep the kid off of him. You gotta have punch power and be able to stay in that pocket a little bit and get the kid off of you. But I can't do that.
Yeah, and that HBO.
Old man fight different. They fight scary. Trust me. Old man fight different. Because if you try to fight like a young man, you're gonna get clipped.
Yep. I mean, I totally respect what Bernard's done. He's incredible. He's amazing, but stay away from Sergey if I was him. And that HBO loves Sergey. HBO seems to want to put him in with Adonis Stevenson if Adonis could get by Tavoris Cloud. And he is the linear champion. He knocked out Chad Dawson.
Yeah.
First of all, what do you think of the Stevenson Cloud fight, and what do you see happening in that one?
That's an interesting fight. It really depends on what style does. What kind of fight style brings to the dance. If you're gonna fight, if you're not gonna fight, you're gonna show up and not throw any punches. Because I trained Adonis briefly, and he's like Sergey in punching power. He just like Sergey, it's unreal. But he lacks defense, and chin is questionable. That gives Cloud a real good shot. But it depends on what crowd shows up. That's what this fight comes down to. Adonis come to do one thing. He's going to be short and has that punching power. So the people know what to expect from him. It's what Cloud does. What kind of fight does Cloud bring to this dance? And does he fight a normal grade fight, or does he kind of sit back because of his power and what Adonis can do to you? Does it make him living? Does it take him out of his fight game? Or does he say, you know what, man, to hell with all that. You got to prove to me that you punch like that. And leave those opportunities for Adonis to hit him with those big shots. So, it's what Cloud brings to this dance, is what happens in that fight. Because Adonis is coming. There's no doubt about it. Like I said, I trained this kid before, and listen, he's got power, if nothing else. Mm-hmm. He got that power that he make you feel retarded after he's finished hitting you. So, it's interesting. It's an interesting fight. It's based more on what Cloud does or doesn't do on the outcome of that fight. If you look at it, you have to give the edge to Stevenson. He's on a high right now, and that power works for him. It depends on what Cloud brings to that dance that night on how that fight turns out.
Yeah, I think regardless of who wins, it's going to be a knockout. If Cloud does happen to get by Stevenson, I'm sure HBO would want to do a Kovalev-Cloud fight. Probably not as big a purse as you'd be getting for Stevenson at the Bell Center in Montreal, but still an exciting fight. If it was up to you, who would you want to see Sergey in there with next?
I said on Stevenson, and it's for the reason that you just stated, the money. Mm-hmm. Listen to me as a fight that needs to brew a little bit longer. I think next year we need the money that you need about $5 million a piece easily by next year. Right now you might get 1.5, you might get in that vicinity, but you're not gonna get more than that. Mm-hmm. So Stevenson is down the road. If he can last with the fight he's being presented with, other than that, I don't. There's not many guys out there really for Sergey that bring marquee value and make money grow, but he can make the money for himself. So the fight that intrigued me the most, and people, I got a lot of backlash for this, was him and Andre Ward. A lot of reasons. I respect Andre. Andre did what he was supposed to do at 168. He's cleaned the division out. He really can't go back and fight those same guys because he beat them all already. Mm-hmm. I think Kovalev and Ward at 175 next year will be a great fight. It'll be a great fight. Because you can't, it's got intangibles. Can Ward and keep Sergey up with the power necessary for this? Can Sergey solve the riddle that is Andre Ward? Can he break through that defense? Can he break through the style that Andre has that befuddles everybody that he fights? Can Kovalev, can he solve that riddle? So it's an interesting fight for the fans, and people, you think you guys are going to beat him? I didn't say he's going to beat him. I said, he'll knock him out. I said, but he has to be able to solve that riddle to knock him out. I said, that's the thing. Can he do that? Get that idea to do. Ward may just take him to school, and it's going to be an ugly, boring fight, but just do what he does best. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying he can't do that. I'm saying that's a fight that I love to see, and the family love to see. I think HBO will love to see it because of the way Ward beat Chad. Chad's kind of about he should have won the 16. We knew that going in. That was your first mistake. Fight him at 116. That was your first mistake. See, I told Sergey, don't ever fight the kid at 160. He has to come fight you at 175. Mm-hmm. Fight you at 170 when everything's even, and then we'll see. But that's the fight. I think the fight fans would love to see. You get too many intangibles and too many questions that need to be answered.
Yeah, and Andre's looking for...
That fight would do it. That fight would do it.
Definitely.
For both fighters.
Andre's looking for respect, and he's looking for a big purse, and he'd definitely get a lot of respect in a big purse fighting Sergey. So I would respect that, and I'd love to see that fight. There's another British guy at super middleweight, still very formidable, very tough guy. Was there any meetings or talk to Carl Froch when you were in England? Was there any talk of a possible Froch fight with Sergey?
No, that was never even brought up. I think Sergey has enough guys at 75 with names that he could fight that would satisfy, I guess, HBO or the general public. Spark never came up. I guess Spark would first have to defeat Ward in a rematch to really solidify his position to fight one of these guys at 175. And unless you beat Ward, then guess what? You haven't really proven yourself. You have the best super middleweight. So why would you want to move up? But from a financial standpoint, it'd be a great fight. A lot of these guys are make great fights for Sergey financially. But I think Spark would have to first of all get the rematch with Ward and beat him, and then it's okay. I'm truly the best at 68 now. Fight somebody at 75. So one of these guys can beat Ward. They need to stay down at 68
try to that division out. War's king of that division, and no one can lay claim to it. Even though they're taking titles from him now, you can't say you're champion until you beat that guy because he's the kingpin at 168.
Yeah, and I'm excited about the next year. So the light heavyweight division's at its most exciting possibility since the 70s. How comfortable does Sergey make weight? Hopefully he can stick around long enough to see these fights like this.
He makes weight easy. He looks like he came in 173. He was on point about before the fight. He was coming to the gym. He was coming in like 177, leaving the gym like 173 every day. So what he the big meal. Come back next day, and get back to the 173. So making weight was not a problem. He didn't starve one day to make weight. He didn't have to cut back on anything. Like if he trains hard, so 75 is still okay for him to deal with. Maybe 3 years down the road, he might become a problem. But right now he's on his prime, and it's the best time for him to do it, and he's real comfortable 175.
Yeah, you got your hands full. You got the whole Tyson promotion thing. You got Sergey. You got a lot of fighters you're dealing with. You're about to deal with. Do you follow the game? Or do you just stick to your own little area that you got for yourself in boxing? Do you follow other fighters and stuff?
Not when I was active as a fighter. I don't follow like I used to. I follow certain weights. I follow whichever weights my guys are in. Mm-hmm. I'll watch certain opponents. If I hear certain names, I'll study them. But unless one of my kids is really fighting somebody, until their name comes up, I don't really follow like I used to. You get older in life, you're not the average fan you once were when you were a kid. You watch if there's a basketball game, you watch every game, baseball game, you watch it, football, boxing, you watch every match. Now it's not the same for me. Unless I have to watch the opponent, I don't really study him that much unless it's a name that just grabs me. Opponent I know way ahead of time that we may fight down the road, then I watch him. Mm-hmm. Only when it's that time that name comes up do I really study him at that point. And I just look at the fighter to devise a plan for my guy to hopefully dissect his opponent and beat him. There's always work. I got a pretty good success rate, but there's no work for me. So we cats, they're good fighters out there. So I don't study like I once did. I can't lie to you. I just love boxing so much, but now I watch the fights that I have to watch, and other than that, I don't watch like I used to.
Do you have any opinions on the upcoming Mayweather-Canelo fight?
Interesting fight, very interesting fight. I think it's a fight that is good before it took it now. I think a year from now, it's not a fight that he really would want. Now is really the best time for him to take it. I hear all kind of things, but I hear from people that I know that Showtime dictated this fight to Floyd because the numbers were so bad from the Guerrero fight. They want the money back, and I heard that's the main reason why this fight being made. Mm-hmm. And I kind of understand and believe that because unfortunately now TV doesn't call the shot. TV is the promoter now, not these guys that call themselves promoters. TV they're the promoters. So when this fight was made, I knew that Showtime put the pressure on Floyd for this fight here. I think it's the best time for Floyd to take it. Floyd's on top of his game. He's trying to slip slowly. There's small. You can see small things in his game that aren't there like they used to be. But right now, he's still on top of his game, and this is the best time for Floyd to fight this kid when he's on top. The kid still needs a little bit more seasoning. He's good. Don't get me wrong, but he needs more seasoning. He needs more schooling. And so right now is the best time for Floyd to take this fight. I think Floyd takes this kid to school because I don't think this kid knows or his team knows how to really cut the ring off and execute certain things to break Floyd down. And if you hit him with Floyd, then you're in trouble. You might as well just give it up. But Floyd, you're not hitting him in his head. You might catch him on 1 or 2 shots. But you're not hitting him flush. Floyd doesn't like to get hit. Not any fighter does. And, Floyd don't want to get hit. So he has that built-in radar. I think it's the best time before to take the fight. It was the right time for him. I mean, financially, it's a great fight for him. But it was the best time for him to take this fight because a year from now, it's not a fight that he really wanted. Or we really need because he's starting to slow down. He's starting to slow down. You can see small glimpses of it. You don't see a lot. But this time next year may not be the right time for him. So it was the best time to take it. And it was a fight that was pushed by TV. So, he had to take it. He might not admit it. But listen, it's the best time for him. So I think Floyd wins this fight. As it gets closer, I'll see more. Because I really haven't studied Canelo that much. But I think it's the best time Floyd takes this fight.
Yeah. I don't want to take much more of your time. I just want to, real quickly, I got a couple more fight picks. What do you think of Pacquiao-Rios? And do you think Pacquiao could come back after that last knockout to Juan Manuel?
I think Bob's still trying to resurrect Pacquiao's career for one more big fight. It won't be with Floyd, but he's smart. He picked Rios for a reason. Rios has no defense whatsoever. They haven't taught him once. Listen, he's an offensive-minded fighter, and that's all he has in him. He's rough, tough, rugged kid, and he's face first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's right down Pacquiao's alley. Pacquiao is a good listen, he got knocked out, and I called that. And I said Marquez gonna knock him out cold if he did what I thought he would do. Punch in between Pacquiao's combinations. And because Pacquiao has a bad habit of he leaps in. If you punch him between the combination, catch him, guess what? He's gone. That's exactly what Marquez did. Now, can Rios do that? I don't know what he can do. Because he's face first. He wants to go to war with you to prove he's machismo. So guess what? I think Bob knows what he's doing. Bob, we got to find a way you can hit every right in front of you. Well, guess what? You got a perfect opponent. Defense now that he's not a defensive-minded fighter. He's all offense. First time he gets hit, all that defense is going to leave the window. He's going to go right back to what he does best, and that's on punches and punches. So I think it works in Pacquiao's favor for this fight right here. Does he have anything left? I think he should for this fight. If he doesn't, then he's going to show that night. I think he has enough left to beat this kid and maybe get one or two more major fights next year and call it a day, because the political side of his world is taking too much of his time. But really concentrate on the boxing part. I think by next year he'll walk away from boxing. But I think this fight here, he has enough left to beat this kid if he does what he's supposed to do. If he's hesitant or will be gun shy, then he might not. But we won't know that until he steps in the ring. If he's gun shy that last knockout, but he's saying the right thing. So I don't think he really. I think he wants to prove himself, but he's still a threat in boxing. He's the top 5 of the game.
Yeah. How about a fight I'm excited about? A guy who reminds me of your man Sergey Kovalev, Lucas Matisse, taking on Danny Garcia. Got any picks on that one?
That's an interesting fight. I really haven't seen Lucas at all. I've seen a knockout, highlights of the knockout. But I think once I get back this weekend from up in New York, I'm gonna study it more. That should be an interesting fight because I'm not really high on Garcia. I like him. He's young. He's doing this thing. I'm not really high on him. Mm-hmm. He has a lot of holes in his arsenal. You can plug them holes. If you can plug his holes up, he's good. But if you can punch through those holes, you got him. Everyone's saying that Lucas is going to get him. Well, he might. It's going to be a very interesting fight. What happens here? Either Danny elevates and gets better at his game and goes on to greater heights, or this kid's going to knock him out, and then he's going to be stuck in just where he's at now, trying to resurrect his career and get it back to where it has been. But he has to improve because this kid right here is dangerous. So it's not a fight you take lightly. And once again, you got Danny's. I think Danny's father is his trainer. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you need to bring somebody in to help you out. You listen, get whoever you want to get, but you got to get somebody in that knows more than the father and the son that can teach. There's a problem with boxing today. There's a lot of so-called trainers, but there's very few teachers in boxing. Because you take most of these kids. Here's the problem with it. You take most of these kids to fight. Mm-hmm. They take their amateur trainer, which is cool. It's called loyalty, and that's cool. They take him when they turn pro, and you keep the same trainer he had as an amateur coach as your professional trainer. But guess what? He's limited now because he can take you so far. But they keep these same guys, and now they can't teach you more than they know already. Now, I'm gonna tell you one person, and I got a lot of flack on this one. I said it recently. The one person who elevated his game, even though he stayed with the same trainer, was Andre Ward. Andre had on-the-job. He learned as he went along. The teaching got no better, but he's learned. See, sometimes the fighter has to learn on his own as he has these fights, and he learns this game. He learns it as he goes along. He learns different things. Andre's becoming a better inside fighter. But he's not good. He's not really good. He's becoming better. His last fight with Dawson, he showed me that, okay, now he's a little bit of an inside game. Mm-hmm. It's not great, but it's better than it used to be. But what he did was, after a while, as a fighter, you have to get on-the-job training. You have to learn. You have to learn. And that's what he's doing. Each fight he learns, he just learns as he goes along. And that's a very good student of boxing, really learning. Mm-hmm. I don't do that, but he's learning as he goes along. And I give him credit, but that's not due to his trainer. That's due to the fighter learning. So, I give him credit for what he's done. And he's learned it again. Because his trainer can only take him so far, because his trainer was an amateur trainer. Mm-hmm. Wasn't a pro, he was an amateur guy. But he stayed with, he had loyalty, and he stayed in with this guy. He stayed with Virgil, and he's done what he's supposed to do. But not because of his training, it's because he learned the game. any true good fighter will learn as you go along, and that's what Andre done. I give him credit for that. He learned this game as he went along. Because the trainer can take him only so far, but he had to learn, and he's done that, and I give him credit for that. Because there's the flip side of that. Now, Virgil got trainer of the year, and guess what? He got all these fighters, and they've all been getting beat this year. So apparently, he's not as good as he thought he was, because guess what? He hasn't taught any of the guys how to fight any better than what they've been. They've all been losing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They've all been getting beat up.
Yep, I noticed that too. It's a jinx, I think. And I just want to, one more question. I wanted to get your pick on the Tim Bradley, Juan Manuel Marquez fight, but more importantly, I wanted to know, would if you had Tim Bradley's heir, would you let him go through with this fight? I hear he's going back and forth on the whole PED issue and getting Juan Manuel USADA and VADA tested, but Bob Arum and Juan Manuel don't want that. They just want to go through the Nevada Athletic Commission. And you could look at his body clearly and see that there's a big difference in Juan Manuel Marquez's body and his appearance. His face even looks totally different. He even grew more hair. It looked like he was balding. Now he's growing more hair back. Would you let Tim Bradley go through with this fight? And how big of a problem do you think PEDs is in the sport?
I don't really worry about that issue because you're a good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, really listen. It's like when Fernando fought De La Hoya. Fernando was all ripped, looked good, man. You know, he felt strong. But as the round mounted, all that stuff he took and all that stuff that's supposed to make him a better fighter, more stronger fighter, he wilted. He wilted from the punches that he got hit with, the body shot, and the better fighter prevailed. You know. I don't know what Juan's taking, if he's taking anything, but I'll tell you this. On the flip side of it, I'm more worried about Tim. Tim's taking a lot of punishment his last two fights, a lot of punishment, more than he should have ever taken in his life. And he doesn't look the same. He doesn't look right to me. I mean, he would be the one. I'd rather go get him checked out to worry about his health. I like Tim. You know, he doesn't do any one thing spectacularly, but he does everything well. He's a very fundamentally sound fighter. But his last two fights, he's taken so much punishment. I mean, he's been hit by some shots that, you know, my goodness. Pacquiao hit him a lot of shots, but the last fight he had, that Russian kid, really put them on him.
No.
I'm more concerned about his health. And, you know, if he gets hit by Marquez, what's going to happen to him? Especially if they plus a lot, you know, and Marquez will pull out a shot. The other issue, the drug issue, whatever, I don't know about it. I can't really get into it. I would hope that Juan doesn't need that kind of thing. That he thinks that he would need to help him. He's a good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a very, very good fighter. I would hope that he wouldn't take that thing to make him better, because it's really not. Especially as he's older. You know, I guess for me, my concern was with Tim. Tim, like, he's getting hit too much now, way too much, and he's staying in that pocket. And that last fight, man, he was hurt. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't stop the fight with the other kid, but he survived it. But how much punch could he take from that? When he tried to box and when he tried to be brave again and go to prove he's a strong fighter than Juan is, and go to war and get hit with more shots. The issue you talked about, I know it. I don't deal with it much. I haven't had that problem. You know, unfortunately, in sport, that seems to be the thing now. Everybody wants to see a little bit to be better. I think they're going to be better. And hopefully that's not the way Juan is going. I haven't seen pictures of if he look big or whatever. I grew more hair, but I hope that's not the case. I really do. I just hope that for his well-being, that he comes in with a plan, not to try to ball with these guys and prove that he can take their puncher, that he's a strong fighter now. Just do what you do best, box these guys, man, because the last fight he's taking so much punishment, it's just unreal. And the last fight was they could have stopped the fight a couple of times against him. He was wobbling like that, just all the ring staggering. I just don't want to see that young man end up as a vegetable, not being able to talk, walk, slurring his speech, because he got hit with some tremendous shots. So I hope for him, he has a different game plan that goes back to the original boxing that he used to do, because he was a good fighter. He did a lot, very brave, and he won this fight because he deserved them. You know, so I don't know about the drug situation. Hopefully it's not true, and that's not something this other kid would do that Juan would do, because he doesn't need that. He's a very good fighter. But for Tim's sake, man, listen, get checked, or you know, go back to the Tim Bradley we knew. It may not be the most exciting fighter, but you're very winnable style for you. Now you get hit, man, and you're wobbling around the ring, and I don't know if your speed is gonna be jacked. If you won't be able to enjoy your kids, you won't be able to enjoy the money that you're making. So, that's my biggest concern for the start with Tim. Don't get hit with all these shots. Try to prove you're macho because then with your brain scramble.
Yeah, one of the smart guys, one of the good guys, one of the best trainers in the game, and being recognized as such with his new gig with Iron Mike Promotions. Head trainer of the brand new WBO light heavyweight champion, Sergey Kovalev, the great John David Jackson. Thanks for your time, my man. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Anytime. I appreciate it. Thank you once again.